Hi everyone, Monique here and welcome. Thank you for joining me. Firstly, I'm new on YouTube, so to get this information out and to help the many people that will be having the Pluto transit to their sun, either conjunction, opposition or square, please subscribe. I won't flood you with heaps and heaps of videos. But I believe that's the way that I need to build my YouTube channel. So please like and subscribe. And this is the first of a series of unpacking, some of the traits, situations that people may come across with this hard Pluto aspect. So at the moment, Pluto is conjunct my natal sun, and I'll have another conjunction in a couple of months, and then Pluto will move through to the end of Capricorn and on to Aquarius. So I hope this video will be up there for the next 20 years for Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus. And this first video is on the loss that one can experience with a hard Pluto transit. Now, if you're going through loss, I totally understand. I have total compassion for you. It isn't easy. I send a big cyber hug out to you and just stick with it. The intention for me making these videos is that in some way it may soothe you. When I was looking for information, because this transit can be quite isolating, and when I was looking for information, it was very hard to find information from people that had actually experienced the Pluto hard aspect transit to the sun, and that were astrologers, and that understood the astrology aspect. I've been studying astrology for 40 years, and I must say that I learned more about astrology in the last 15 years than I had when I sort of previously was looking through books and what have you before the internet. So let's get back to loss. Now, in my experience, there was two types of loss. There was the loss that came from left field, and then there was the loss where I needed to sacrifice and lose something in my lifestyle, knowing that that's what I needed to do to be able to move forward. And both aren't easy. The loss isn't easy. From the loss, it can bring up victimization feelings, abandonment feelings, especially if you've got Pisces and Neptune aspects. Even some Virgos can have a victimization trait that plays out as a pattern in their lives. So this loss at first, really is heavy. Because we lose what our ego wants to hold on to. If it was easy, we'd go, yeah, right, that's gone, that's okay. But that's not what Pluto's doing. Pluto is removing, and with our sacrifice as well, we are removing different aspects of our life so that we can be empowered. I can't tell you how that loss works, whether it's gradual. I mean, it is gradual, there's no doubt about it. Pluto is a heavy ass kicker, and if it happened all overnight, you just wouldn't survive. It would be too much for the consciousness. So hence Pluto moves very slowly through its transit. In my case, it started immediately when Pluto went into Capricorn, and one by one, everything was removed from my life. You can catch a 3-part series that I did on the first, just about my experience with the Pluto transit. So it is gradual losses, or who am I to say? It could be huge. It could be, everything gone. We've had bushfires and floods and what have you here in Australia, and those people have lost everything. I'm not saying they're all having a Pluto transit, but I very much identified with the people that had lost their homes through natural sources. I very much identified because I knew what that felt like. It's our identification, our ID, who we think we are, and the things that that we can lose is money, our job, career, health, friends, family, our home, our community, our mental health, our marriages, and in my case, a child. So, you know, there's many areas, and only you will know from your chart, you know, what Pluto is requiring for us to let go of and lose, so to speak. The losses that I experienced were connected to my chart, my Pluto placement, my South Node in the 4th house, conjunct the Moon. And I only realised that now at the end of the transit. So, you know, if you're a long-time studier of astrology, you know, go and have a look at the placement of where Pluto was in your chart. Pluto is in my 2nd house, exact conjunct Uranus in Virgo. So in my 2nd house, money has been a struggle, and that has been a pattern, a family pattern that I have had to work through. Another feeling that goes with these losses, sacrifices, is the emptiness, and that's what Pluto requires. Pluto requires us to be empty and to wait for the wellspring to rise up again and for the flower to bloom. So this can be, in my experience, years and years and years of coming to that emptiness, and it is an uncomfortable feeling. But I believe people that are experiencing really hard Pluto transits, they're old souls. I know myself that with the losses and everything leaving, I knew that other people I was acquainted with, they wouldn't have coped. They wouldn't have coped with the losses. So, you know, hats off to you if you're having this transit and it's really hard, because you can get through. The issue is that we hold on, and Pluto requires acceptance, and those people, places and things that we hold on to, they're part of our identification as we thought it. They're our security blanket. They're the things that we felt that we needed to feel safe, and maybe we weren't even aware that they were dysfunctional, those people, places or things that we were holding on to, but they made us feel safe and secure. And a Pluto transit is not safe and secure. There's nothing about it that's safe and secure. We are required to let go, to accept, and to allow Pluto to do its work. And that's not easy, and it's not overnight. There's no way it's overnight. This can take years of coming to the acceptance and the allowing Pluto to do its work. In my case, I've lost all my family. It's just me. And I now accept that, and I've created a life for myself that doesn't include relatives. And I have created a family that I can call my own, who love and cherish me and who want to be around me. And we have a give-take, equal, functional relationship. Another thing that can happen with all of these losses and sacrifices is we give up. And that's what I did. I gave up. I had lost so much that I felt like I had the demon's touch. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to attempt anything. I didn't want to start anything, because the loss was so strong that I felt that nothing was ever going to work. It wasn't going to work anyway. And I think in a way that's what Pluto wants, is a giving up. But it's not a giving up of moving forward with our gifts, talents. It's a giving up as far as acceptance goes and allowing goes. But in my case, I gave up, and it's been very hard for me to get back to work and to do this. This is something I've always wanted to do, to share my experience, strength and hope. I've had a very colourful life. I have a Grand Cross, all the squares in my chart. I'm old soul and earth angel. And, I'm here to help others. My sun, Capricorn sun, is in the 6th house. I have a Leo rising, and I'm here to serve. So I couldn't even do that. My self-esteem, I have never had self-esteem. I've never had self-worth. So, thank God for Pluto, or I'd be still in that space with all this fake identification that I'm acting from, operating from, but it wouldn't have been my true self. And that's what Pluto requires us to become empty and to find our true self and our higher power. So the loss is attached to our egos. It's our egos that will require all these dysfunctional people, places, and things. And that's not easy. That is not easy. And when you're going through this, you will look out into the world, to your people in the world, and most people are operating out of their ego. They have all of these fake foundations that they've built in their life to keep us safe. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. This is a very hard transit. And, I will say this through all my videos, it's requiring self-love, self-compassion. And if you haven't been taught self-love, if you're unaware of what self-compassion is, research that. I will do a video on that alone as we unpack the Pluto hard aspect to the Sun transit. There's a lot of grief and a lot of pain that comes with the losses, whichever way they are. In my case, it's my family, corporate business that I built up, my home, my mental health. I became homeless because I couldn't function, losing everything. I didn't understand it in the early days of the transit. And I was very isolated. Everything was taken from me. Nobody knocked at the door to come and save me. Pluto requires us and our inner power to rise up through this transit. And in that, you will find a sense of loneliness because of the losses, and nobody's coming to prop you up anymore. The people, places, and things that we identified as our props are gone. So there is great loneliness, but in that loneliness, aloneness, you will find that higher self, God, whatever you want to call that. Call it higher power, higher self, and bit by bit you'll get through. I just want to end. A few years back, I reflected. I'd been to Bible college decades ago, and I reflected on one of the books of the Bible, Job. And in that story, the devil and God are having a communication about Job. And God is saying, he worships me. He's one of my best. He loves me. And the devil said, yes, well, let's just see how much he loves you when I take everything away from him. And God swore, no, Job would come through. He would honor me and acknowledge me. And so God allowed the devil to take all of Job's possessions. He was very wealthy. He had been very blessed by God, and he lost his family and his cows and his cattle and his farms and all of his clothes. And he would sit with a few friends, and they'd say, oh, give up on this God of yours. Look what he's done to you. He's taken all your family and your wealth and everything from you. And Job would say, no, my God will never leave me. He will come through. He will come through. And that went on for a while with Job. And eventually the devil did see that Job did honor his God, and everything was returned to him tenfold, I believe. So, that story, I often felt like Job, and you may feel like Job too. It may be a very different transit for Aquarians, but it would depend on your chart. I have an Aquarian sister, and I've had many Aquarian friends, and they seem not so attached to materialism. But Pluto will work pending on the props that they have they have in their life that that they lean on instead of their personal power. Yeah, so it's not a long video. I'm going to make a lot of videos on addictions, you know, loss, our inner power. I'm going to unpack it right down, so that, you know, my intention and hope is that this may soothe you, that you are not alone. You are not alone. And, you know, in the early days, I would say to people, I'm alone, I've lost everything, I'm alone. And people say, you're not alone, you're not alone. But I didn't really understand that, but I do now, because you really do come to find that inner strength, that inner power. I am no way through this transit. I still have one more exact conjunct. Pluto has just gone stationary direct. I think it's this weekend. Stationary, we've got a full moon, stationary direct this weekend. And, you know, I think it's about 26 degrees, 7 minutes. My Pluto is 26 degrees, 50 minutes. So you could say that I have Pluto conjunct the sun today. And if I, you know, tried to do anything like share myself with you years ago, there was just no way I could do it. So there is gradual development, and I'm very grateful, and I plan to walk with you through the Pluto transit. For Aquarius, I have so much to share and help others with. And, you know, I'm just really grateful to you, the viewers, for supporting me in those other videos. They were just such beautiful comments, which really pushed me forward and helped me see that, yes, Monique, you can do this. If there's any Pluto topics that you would like me to share about, please leave that in the comments. And just another reminder, please subscribe, because it's the subscriptions on YouTube. It's all about the algorithms. It's not about my ego, but I really would like, you know, this information to get out to as many Aquariuses and Leo with the opposition, and the square, Taurus and Scorpio, you know, as many people as possible. So thank you, and bless you all, and namaste. And I'll see you soon. Thank you.